I like how the guard is just like, alright, that's fine. Whatever now. Whew, I'm finally out of that cabin. I have to admit, this isn't quite what I was expecting. It's less spacious out here than I thought it would be, and this is the most luxurious accommodation. Yes, indeed. Kazuma-sama was being sent on this study tour by the government. That's why he was being put up in a first-class cabin. Even still, this is about twice as large as my accommodation in the steerage. Really? That must be awful. Oh, look over there. There's another crewman keeping watch. And he looks enormous, even if he's sitting down. He's got immaculate posture. The door next to him leads to the second-class accommodation. I suppose he's making sure no one comes in here who shouldn't. I suppose. Like people in handcuffs. Naruhodo-san, you look like a little boy visiting a toy shop for the first time. I would have thought you'd be used to the ship by now. We've been at sea for 2 weeks. Well, yeah, I know, but the thing is, I was inside Kazuma's trunk when I first came aboard, and ever since then I've been shut inside that little wardrobe. It must have been a very trying time for you. Please don't give me that pitying look. Hold on, I am sipping. Alright. Let's get some examination going, brother. What's this? This caught my eye. It's very vibrant. That's a huge book on top of the table there, and there's a pen next to it. Yes, that looks like the ship's log. Shall we have a little look through it? The writing is so neat and precise. Every detail about the voyage has been meticulously recorded. You wouldn't expect a rough and ready sailor to have such beautiful handwriting. And nothing. No reaction at all. I thought he might appreciate the compliment. I'm not sure that rough and ready is much of a compliment, Naruhodo-san, even to a sailor. Anyway, last night's log is mostly blank. Presumably that means there was nothing to report. Map of the ship, you know, have a gander. This looks like a rough plan of the SS Buria. It shows each deck, look. The Buria is a large-scale steamship with a triple-skinned hull. What a marvel of engineering. Well, it's been playing on my mind for a while now, actually, but how is it that such a huge lump of metal doesn't sink to the bottom of the ocean? Oh, that's really quite simple, Naruhodo-san. It is. Well, considering the Japanese archipelago, the islands of Japan... Yes, they're not metal, but they are enormous lumps of earth, many, many times larger than this ship. And yet they don't sink, do they? They've been floating happily on the sea since the gods created them. Well, I suppose so. Alright, that wasn't really an explanation, but a good comparison, I suppose. Ah, a trap set for catching mice. Yes, we have plenty of those back home in Japan, although they seem to be using a lump of chalk or something as bait. Let me see. Yes, I think that's what is called cheese. It's made from the milk of cows. Cheese? I wonder what that tastes like. You can't eat it. The trap will snap shut on your fingers. Really? But, I suppose you're right. I mean, sure. You weren't actually going to try it, were you? All I've had to eat for the past couple of weeks is Kazuma's leftovers. You don't know how hungry I've been in that wardrobe. Poor you. I'll find a little snack for you later. Alarm. I mean, we're gonna have a look at everything. What do you think this is? It's a very pleasing shape, isn't it? That's the emergency alarm. It's probably best not to touch it. Oh, an alarm. It says, press only in times of emergency. It looks as though it sets alarm bells ringing all over the ship, and brings the vessel to a complete stop. Oh, this I have to see. What are you doing? You mustn't touch it. But this is an emergency. Look at these handcuffs. You know damn well that's not what the alarm's for. If you were to bring this vessel to a standstill for no good reason, you'd be in an even worse situation. I wish everything would just stop. This ship included. If you have to do something foolish, at least make something that doesn't affect anyone else. This is it. This is the cabin next to ours, the one the ventilator connects to. Yes, the ventilator from which Kazuma-sama wrote that he saw a speckled band. Maybe whoever's in this cabin can help solve this mystery. Let's ask. An instant transmission? Impressive. I don't mean to be insulting, but, like, what's going on with your fucking skin, dog? Oh, excuse me. We, need to get inside this cabin here. The sailor's eyes speak volumes. They're clearly saying, keep out. That's what I wrote. That's what I wrote on the sign we put over the wardrobe doors. Although this man's version is definitely more effective. Doesn't look like he's going to let us pass. That's a problem. So what are we gonna do? I mean, we can go over and have a little talksy with him. Excuse me, but could I ask you something? You little stowaway murderer. That wasn't a good start, was it? Alright, let me try instead. Good day, Mr. Sailor. I'm so sorry to trouble you, but could I perhaps ask something of you? You? A little third-class lady's maid? Well, that was even more scathing than mine. Oh, we seem to have caught the sailor on a bad day, Susato-san. I'm not Sailor. My mother gave me a name. I am Senior Crewman Biff Stroganoff. Jesus fucking Christ. Ooh, the best thing is to just avoid eye contact, I think. Wait, is that why he's that color? Beef Stroganoff. Is that color like something, like this weird color, something you'd see in that? No, not really. Never mind. What's, like, honestly though, dude. We are in finest part of Bureau steamship. Oh, fucking hell, Jesus Christ, I went way too fast. Hold on, back that up. First class cabin. About this first class cabin, we are very important persons. What sort of very important persons? Government officials, kings, queens, traveling in secret. Many important persons. This is why I'm always guarding this place. Gosh, that's amazing. But somehow I let stupid stowaway inside. I want to pick you up and throw you in ocean, but Stroganoff is not animal. Thank you. If I may, I was wondering, is the cabin next to Mr. Asogi's currently occupied? Da, maybe? Susato-san, did you understand that? It sounded like da. Excellent. I'm a genius. I think it's probably Russian for yes or no. Genius. It is not permitted to visit other cabins without invitation. Well, it sounds like there is somebody in the next door cabin at least. Yes, it's tantalizing. Passenger. Could you tell me who's traveling in the cabin next to Asogi's? His name is Mr. Grimsby Roylott. Grimsby Roylott? Grimsby Roylott. He's a very important Western gentleman. Western gentleman. Do not think about it. He has nothing to do with murder of student boy. How can you be so sure about that? Mr. Roylott is authentic Western gentleman. Such a man would have no interest in lowly student from insignificant Far East Islands. That was harsh. They hate the Japanese around here. Could you tell us when Mr. Roylott came aboard? That is not your business. Come to think of it. Even though we've been in sea for 2 weeks now, and I've been in Cosmo's cabin, I've never once heard anything from the next door cabin, or even felt like there's anyone there. I mean, I'm not sure you're psychic, but, well, presumably since this gentleman is occupying one of the first-class cabins, he must be rather important. Is that right? That is not your business. Last night. Are you on watch here all the time, Steven Stroganoff? Duh, all time. So criminals like you cannot come in or get out. I wonder, could you tell us anything about last night at all? It is sad about student boy. Were you on watch last night? Of course. And did you notice anything at the time? Anything unusual? Hit! Susato-san, did you understand that? It was clearly a no. I saw nothing unusual, nothing at all. And you didn't hear any strange noises or sense anything was wrong? I said no. Sorry? I'm not so sure. I could have sworn that he wouldn't catch my eye for a moment there. This is enough. I cannot say more now. Oh. It is time for me to report to Captain. You must return to cabin. Yes, all right. Bulkhead to second-class area is staying locked at all times. You escape when the lobster whistles on top of the mountain. Or as English say, when the pigs fly. When the lobster whistles on the mountain is a lot better. Yes, I understand. Good. Now we can investigate. Shall we? Definitely. Easy peasy, boys. We fucking got him. Okay, I gotta examine the door again first. Understood. Get me in there. This is it. This is the cabin. Yes, yes, yes. The ventilator speckled emerging. Let's ask. Yeah. Again. No answer. We're out of luck, it seems. There's no one in there to help with our inquiries. How annoying. Ah! What was that? It came from inside the cabin. Such a high-pitched scream, it must have been a woman. Stand aside. I'm about to break the door down. Mr. Sholmes? I shan't be stopped. When the fit is on me, I revel in the kicking of doors off their hinges. Please, wait, Mr. Sholmes. The door doesn't appear to be bolted. It doesn't? Then how the deuce can I dispatch this muscular urge? What, pray, can I kick? I think we should go in. There's no time to think about stress relief. Oh my. Who are you? A Western gentleman? This man looks Russian to me. Well, so, you're the Russian revolutionary, I'm presuming. And what, are you actually a woman under all of this? We heard a woman scream. A woman? Don't be absurd. As you can see, there's nobody but me in this cabin. True, this old man does appear to be only a person in here. But in that case, who just screamed? Get out, all of you, now. Please excuse the intrusion, but you're Mr. Grimsby Roylott, I presume. Yes, that's me, and you are. I am the one and only, the actual Herlock Sholmes. You've heard of me, no doubt. No. I'm a great detective among detectives, one who adorns the covers of popular magazines, no less. So I assure you, you may trust me completely. The man uses that magazine like a business card. A detective? I do not trust detectives. We distinctly heard a scream emanating from within these walls. But there wouldn't appear to be a lady concealing herself within the wardrobe this time. So might I be so bold as to ask you to open that small traveling case? What? Don't be stupid. How could anyone fit in a small trunk like that? Well, it's quite fashionable these days, is it not? Traveling inside one's trunk. Don't look at me. No fucking way. Did you see that, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes, the case just shook. Leave, now. Otherwise, I call the steward. So this is Cosmo's neighbor, Mr. Grimsby. There's no reason to doubt it. There's no doubt about it. The strange Russian man is hiding something. I couldn't agree more. Let's see if we can find some clues before that burly sailor returns. Let's have a little gander around the room. Oh, he's busy investigating, I see. So, oh, it's on the floor. What do you think you're doing? Ah! This is my cabin, get out. Could we just have a quick look inside your traveling case? No! What a pity. It's right of luck. I think you're right. There doesn't appear to be anything more we can do. I agree, but there may be someone else who can help. Perhaps that great detective could get somewhere. Sir! Do you have a moment, please, Mr. Sholmes? You need only address me as Sholmes. That's what I just did, isn't it? Well, Mr. Sholmes, what were you doing in there? Why, I was resting, of course. Resting? Indeed! I was contemplating our sea voyage from the confines of the wardrobe whilst waiting. Waiting for the inevitable time that you would need to call my great powers of detection into service. Oh! And it would seem the hour is upon us now. The time has come. Am I mistaken? Well, no, actually, you're spot on for once. Observe closely. Our Russian hosts in this cabin, Mr. Roylott, is clearly trying to hide something. And do you know what the most effective weapon to use against a Russian hiding a secret? Why, the truth, of course. Though, it should be pointed out that such methods are not exclusively for the Russians. Right. Can you imagine how the Russian will react when the secret he guards so closely is exposed? Would you like to witness it? Oh, yes, please. Well then, what you are about to see may well astound you. For I am about to apply my great detective's greatly admired great deduction to the case. Could this man be a more hackneyed portrayal of a dubious Russian, I ask you? What? Are you racially profiling me? What the fuck? From time to time, it occurs to me. Is the fellow dubious on account of his Russianness? Or Russian on account of his dubiousness? You are... What are you talking about, dude? I really don't think either of those two things should be occurring to you, or anyone. That's right, and Mr. Sholmes. I know this man's beard and dark glasses are hard to ignore, especially on first meeting, but I once read, it's a capital mistake to theorize before you have all the evidence. It biases the judgment. Shh, must have complete silence. What are you doing? Why are you peering at my face like that? Ah, just as I thought. Yes, I have quite made up my mind now. There can be no other explanation that accommodates all the facts. Mr. Roylott, I have reached two incontrovertible conclusions. What do you mean? Number one, your true identity is that of a villain. Using those shears, you are about to end the existence of something most dear. Are you not? Yeah. And number two, the other conclusion I have drawn. You are, at this very moment no less, in the midst of committing a most grievous crime. Beneath that beard, your mouth quivers with nervous tension as you realize you have been discovered. Does it not? Ah. Oh, Hoda-san, I never imagined I would witness one of Mr. Sholmes' great deductions with my own eyes. That was a great deduction. Nothing can deceive Mr. Sholmes. In a single glance, he can deduce all there is to know about a person. What? What ineffable twaddle. Oh yes, I've read about it countless times in the adventures of Herlock Sholmes, and now I've experienced the astonishing impact of his great deductions firsthand. It's like a dream come true. I can hardly believe it, but all the color has drained from Mr. Roylott's face. It looks like somehow both of Sholmes' conclusions were right. How? How could you? How could I possibly know such things? You wish to say. Very well then. I shall elucidate. I shall explain how it was I arrived at this pair of conclusions. So I cordially invite you upon a journey of logical discovery. Let us board the train of reasoning. Put plainly, let us work through my deductions together. Oh. Old man's identity. So, the dubious-looking Russian, Mr. Roylott, obviously. What catches the eye in the first place is the enormous pair of shears in your hand. Now we ask ourselves, what could you possibly want with such an implement? The answer, of course, is staring us in the face. You were on the verge of using the shears to cut away the copious beard you sport. Now, moving on. The question then begged is this: why would you desire to rid yourself of this magnificent beard, Mr. Roylott? Once again, the answer is plain. We have clear evidence to shed light on the matter. Regard, if you will, this morning's newspaper, in particular the fascinating front page article, which it would appear you have read also, Mr. Roylott. I'm sure it needs no further clarification. The evidence that reveals your true identity is the article about the revolutionary. In translation, the headline reads, "Revolutionary villain Borshevsk flees Russia via Shanghai." As you cannot fail to observe, the subject of the article possesses an extremely copious beard. Having noted the article yourself, you decided to remove your incriminating facial hair before it gave you away. In short, your true identity is beyond doubt. You are the fearsome Russian revolutionary himself, villain Borshevik. Not that I've heard of you myself, you understand. Okay. Now, as for my second conclusion, you are, at this very moment, on the brink of committing a most grievous crime. And the proof of this crime? Over there. Ah, yes, Mr. Roylott. Taken unawares, people have a propensity to let their eyes stray, you see. Ah. And I assure you, the eyes speak so much more eloquently and honestly than the mouth. The answer we seek lies where the furtive glance lies. The proof of your crime sits before our very eyes. Yes, that traveling case. It is time, I think, that the case be opened and its contents laid bare. No, I refuse. What could you possibly be concealing inside, we ask? By my estimation, a young lady, perhaps, one slight enough to fit therein. Don't be absurd. A ballerina would be quite flexible. And what, pray, would the identity of this young lady in the traveling case be the identity of this lady? Dear me, we are not well suited to a life of crime, are we, you careless Doyle betrays you. Once again, we need only follow your furtive glance to find the answer. Yes, the reason you refuse to open your traveling case can equally be found in the pages of this newspaper. For there is another most stimulating article. If we turn from the fleeting revolutionary to the back page, renowned prima ballerina of the Novich Ballet disappears from Shanghai. Such a headline can lead us to but one conclusion. Your crime is that of abduction. And according to the article, the young lady's name is Nikolina Pavlova. Thus concludes Sherlock Holmes' great deduction of this Russian enigma, Elemensky. Okay. Enthralling. Susato-san, that wasn't one of the great deductions I've been hearing so much about, was it? Well, the stories are full of Mr. Sholmes' brilliant deductions, you know. But that did seem a little different somehow. Excuse me, Mr. Sholmes, could you come over here a moment? Pray, what can I do for you? It's about your deductions. Would you mind? Not at all, go on. Well, to start with, there's the newspaper article. I think we had the same discussion before, but these two men look nothing like each other. Ah, yes, I recall our discussion earlier. And at the time, I believe I told you that the man is a revolutionary, well able to revolutionize his own appearance. In fairness to Mr. Sholmes, Mr. Roylott does more like this man than you do. That's not the point. And another thing, the part about him abducting the ballerina. Indeed, a truly startling revelation. At first glance, the case would appear too small to accommodate a young woman. Not just at first glance, it is too small. Clearly, you'd be lucky to fit a 5-year-old child into that case, even if you pushed really hard. I don't suppose the missing ballerina is a 5-year-old child, is she? You mean you don't know? No, the young lady is 15. Oh, no, I didn't know. How could I? Well, if she's 15, then 10 years' worth of her would be poking out from the case. Some years ago, I found something pertinent, I believe. A troop of men consuming vinegar daily in order to promote a certain liveliness in their bodies. Vinegar? For such a sour bunch, it would surely be simplicity itself to contort oneself into the confines of that small case. Oh dear, you might be thinking of contortionists in the circus, Mr. Sholmes. Ugh, this whole thing is turning into a circus. Mr. Naruhodo, something's occurred to me about Mr. Sholmes' deductions just now. I think his powers of observation are, well, magical. His eyes cut to the heart of the matter almost instantly. It's just where he directs his attention and his logic that seems a little off. Your idea of a little may be a little off itself, Miss Sato. It's just one or two keywords in his deductions that seem to let him down. So I was wondering if we might perhaps tactfully switch them for alternatives. What do you think? Switch some keywords. Yes, but very tactfully. I'm sure if we could do that, we'd unlock the true genius of Mr. Sholmes' great deductions. Precisely, the thought that was going through my own mind. This man has a lot of work. At times, I wonder how anyone puts up with me. It's not that funny. And you, my good fellow. Sorry? Take a moment to look at your wrists. My wrists. What? Ah, what? Where are your handcuffs? Huh? How did... I felt they may hinder your ability to follow me in our dance of deduction. I don't believe it. Mr. Sholmes, you are a marvel. And don't worry, I shall restore the shackles to your wrists when we are finished. I'm not worried. In fact, I'd rather stay like this. So, let us begin. Herlock Sholmes is proud to present his logic and reasoning spectacular. Alright. So the dubious-looking Russian man, Mr. Roylott, obviously what catches it, yeah, okay. We're gonna go through the whole thing we just went through. I'm not sure. Would you really use shears like that to cut off a beard? I doubt that's something I'll ever have to worry about. It doesn't sit quite right with me, though. It seems to be sitting right with Mr. Roylott. It doesn't seem to be sitting right with Roylott either. Which means I suppose that the deduction is wrong. Let's try to switch a keyword here and see if it helps matters. Alright, but how? I think we should start by taking a long, hard look at Mr. Roylott. I wonder if it's really his beard that he intended to use those shears on. Exactly. If we manage to find something else that seems to fit the sense of Mr. Sholmes' deduction better, then what? I'll leave the rest in your capable hands. Well, let's see if there's any... Yeah. What exactly was he going to use those enormous shears for? Scroll me down. No can scroll down. Okay. Oh, what the fuck is going on back here? God, he's wearing a fucking wig! Yes! Golden locks. You are on the verge of using the shears to cut away the golden locks you sport. Indeed, you have identified the precise detail I was intending to expose. Such lush golden hair certainly does not befit an old man. You're not a man at all, you're a woman, and judging from the length and sheen of your hair, one still very much in her youth. Oh no. If only I had managed to cut off my hair, no one would have suspected. The question then begged is this: why would you desire to rid yourself of those magnificent locks? Once again, the answer is plain. We have clear evidence to shed light on the matter. I'm sure it needs no further clarification. The evidence that reveals your true identity is the article about the revolutionary. Incorrect. Well, that was a shock. I had no idea the old man was really a young woman in disguise, did you? What? What are you staring at me like that for? Yes, it was a surprise. You're enjoying this, aren't you? Sorry? You look like you're in your element as you dance around the room, deducing the facts with Mr. Sholmes. I'm just doing what we agreed. I'm not having fun. This is strictly business. Yes, I understand. Say no more. Well, anyway, let's focus on this next part. The evidence, yeah, it's wrong. No, it's not true. Exactly. He or she can't possibly be the merciless revolutionary. I suppose it's because the deduction as a whole has taken a different direction now. Yes. Let's switch the evidence for something else, something that fits as we understand them. I feel as though, yeah, I've got to flip that bad boy around. That one.
Yes.
The evidence that reveals your true identity is, of course, the article about the ballerina. That's right. You've hit the nail on the head. Renowned prima ballerina of the Novovich Ballet disappears from Shanghai. It would appear we are finally able to address you by your true name. Yes, because your true identity is that of the Novovich ballerina prima ballerina. Miss Nikolina Pavlova. This is pretty sick, to be honest. I'm having a good time here. The moment of truth. You're right. My real name is Nina. I mean, Nikolina Pavlova. But please, I beg you, don't tell anyone. A ballerina on the run. Now, as for my second conclusion, you are, at this very moment, on the brink of committing a most grievous crime. And the proof of that crime, over there. The traveling case. Dun dun. This woman is the ballerina, and she's right in front of our eyes. So clearly she can't be inside that traveling case as well. No, that's right. It seems she wasn't abducted at all. And I doubt that she's hiding the revolutionary in there somehow. In which case, what is the crime this young woman is apparently committing? She's brought a pet on board. You seem you seem to look pleased. You do like the idea of another chance to dance around with Mr. Sholmes. Stop it! Anyway, there must be something else here that shows what this woman is up to. Scroll. Let me scroll this bad boy. Oh, this is just behind it. Wow, look at this dazzling tiara. I've never seen anything like it. Are those real diamonds? Oh, Naruhado-san, try it on. What? Me? Isn't it usually girls who wear tiaras? Wouldn't you like to try it on? Oh no, I couldn't possibly. It's far too beautiful. Why does this tiara look familiar? I feel like I've seen it somewhere. Yeah. You have. The proof of your crime is surely this tiara. Ah! I believe this tiara is worn on stage by dancers in the Novovich Ballet, is it not? Indeed, it would appear to be identical to the tiara pictured here in this newspaper article. And if the reporting is to be believed, it's an item worth 20,000 rubles. In summary, the crime you have committed is theft. Oh no. Yes, you left your ballet troupe, unlawfully taking their precious tiara with you. I have no one, no family, no friends. I am all alone, and I need money. But I did not steal the tiara. It was a present from, how do you say, an Earl of Prussia. It belongs to me. This girl is only 15 years old, and she's run away all by herself. She must have been extremely lonely. Alright, I will tell you everything. There's no point in hiding it now. Come, come! Let us not be hasty! What? There remains one unsolved mystery about you. Mystery? What do you mean? You have staunchly refused to open this traveling case of yours in our presence. Is it reasonable to conclude, therefore, that there exists some reason why you wish it to remain closed? Is that not so, Miss Pavlova? My dear girl, there is no sense in playing games with me. Nothing escapes my attention. Indeed, I have a very good idea of the contents of your case, even before I have ever laid eyes on them. Dear me! We are not well suited to a life of crime, are we? Once again, Yes, the reason is written on the books on the shelf. He's completely changed tact with his deductions now. I think Mr. Sholmes is adopting this logic to changing circumstances, don't you? Maybe. But why has he suddenly brought the bookshelf into all of this? It's just a wild guess, surely. Oh, do you think so? Well, it doesn't seem likely that the reason the young woman doesn't want to open the case would be written on the bookshelf about books that don't belong to her. That's right, but still, Miss Pavlova did cast her eyes in that direction. Yeah, she's looking at the fucking notice because she has a pet on board. The pet's, presumably also the pet has responsible for the books here and the books next door. If that's where her gaze was involved... Oh, and that's why the bell is over there as well. The bell was probably on the cat's collar. I agree, that's the only reason. Whatever she has hidden inside that case. It's this. Fuck, I didn't push present. No, get out of my face.
Yes!
Yes, the reason why you refuse to open your case, written in the rules of the passage. Passengers must not keep weapons or other dangerous objects in their cabins. Pets are also strictly forbidden. Inside that case of yours is something forbidden from the carriage on this vessel. That is the real reason why you refuse to open it, thus revealing its contents. As we've seen, the trunk wobbles from time to time, but no weapon or other dangerous item would move of its own accord. Which leaves but one possibility, Miss Pavlova. Inside your traveling case. Is the last item listed as forbidden in the vessel's rules of passage, a pet. Show us the cat. Come, show us the cat. We want to see the cat. Yeah, we're the best. Elementary. So clearly you aren't who you said you were. No, I am not Grimsby Roylott. My name is Nikolina Pavlova. Everything you said was correct. You absconded during one of your ballet company's performances in order to escape your homeland. Later that same night, you stole aboard this vessel, which couldn't have been easy. The Buria is a huge steamship with a vast crew. Could she really have snuck on board without being noticed? In order to obscure your true identity, you somewhat recklessly took the guise of an old gentleman, and you intended to sever all links with your past by severing your long hair. Yet to a woman, hair is no trifling matter. My personal recommendation is to leave well alone. So, if it was just you about to cut off your hair, who was it that let out the scream we heard from outside the cabin? That veritable tinkling of a bell? Why, none other than this young lady, naturally. More like a full set of pipes, if you ask me. I was so scared when I ran away in Shanghai. I was sure they would come looking for me. That's why I decided to, how do you say, disgust myself. No one would ever recognize me. As a result, you transformed yourself into that questionable old man? I see. I put on the fur hat and fake beard. Then, just before you came in here, I saw in the newspaper, right on the page, there was a picture of me. I was so frightened, I couldn't stop from screaming. I knew that if I didn't change my appearance completely, they would find me. So I decided to cut all my hair as fastly as possible, so I picked up the scissors in my hand and... At that precise moment, we walked in through the annoyingly unlocked cabin door. Things like that happen sometimes, don't they? Things do indeed happen like that, from time to time. Are those two even talking about the same thing? There's just one more thing I'd like to know. Show us the cat. Show us the cat. Show us the cat. What exactly is in there, huh? Come on. You were right. It is my dear friend inside. My only friend in the whole world. Show us the cat. Show us the cat. Don't tell anyone. If the captain finds out. If you say it to any of the crew. Your secret is safe with us, I assure you. But in return... Show us the cat. Show us the cat. Show us the cat. You must tell us in as much detail as you can muster about the events of last night. Yes, alright. I will tell you. Well, Mr. Naruhodo, wasn't it something like Mr. Sholmes' great deduction? There was certainly something, yes. I'm not entirely sure what, but at least Miss Pavlova has agreed to tell us what she knows. That's incredible. Indeed, it is incredible. Ah, and one more thing. Oh, yes, what? Observe your wrists, my... Ah! Your hands are cuffed again. What? But how? True to my word, I have restored your shackles. Ugh. When and why? There is still a shadow of guilt cast over you, Mr. Naruhodo. I'm sorry to say, but it can't be helped at the moment. Can't it, really? Anyway, let's listen to what Miss Pavlova has to say. I can't go on without not knowing. I have to find out what the speckled band that Kazuma-sama wrote about in his diary really was. So, show us the current. So the friends you mentioned is inside your traveling case, is that right? I don't think animals are yes, we covered this. Please, don't tell. If they found my precious, then the burly Russians would bestir themselves in unison and throw you and your case overboard, no doubt. Ah, so reassuring, Mr. Sholmes. But what sort of pet is your friend? A little puppy? It is, isn't it? Maybe an adorable little rabbit. Ah, you credit Russia as a land with small rabbits, do you? Oh, don't they have small rabbits there, then? You may well ask. I have no idea. You two are miserable bunglers when it comes to understanding the nature of the young ballerina's friends. Isn't it obvious? It must be a chicken. Really? Considering the benefits. A rousing wake-up call. Daily fresh eggs. And when adversity strikes, it could satisfy the needs of sustenance. So you'd eat your friends? I'll remember that. Well, it would appear this friend's identity is a closely guarded secret not to be revealed. She obviously doesn't quite trust us yet. There's something I should like to show her, I think. Maybe she might be able to shed some light on it. Yes, the bell. Nope, I didn't mean to do that. Fuck. Back it up, back it up. I want to present the bell. No idea, yep, Yep, chicken, wake-up call, yep, true, all true, very valid retorts, Shut the fuck up and let me out. Alright, thank you. Present. We don't have the bell. What if I show her this then? Miss Pavlova, would you take a look at this? I don't know. I don't know anything. Alright. I thought the bell was, like, in the evidence somewhere, but I guess not. Or do I want to show her... Ah, yes. There was... The first entry is like a whistling, right? This is the diary from someone who passed away. His diary. Yes, and he wrote in it last night before he died. Wait, is it a fucking snake? And it reads, I hear a faint whistling sound. And then a few minutes later, speckled band. A speckled band? I don't understand. It's strange, isn't it? But the ventilator he mentions joins this cabin, you see. It's up there on the wall. In other words, this cabin and the victim's cabin are connected together. How would a snake get up there of its own accord, though? Oh. Miss Pavlova, has something occurred to you? Does the speckled band the victim mentioned mean something to you? Or the whistling sound? No. I don't know anything. Oh. Alright, well, you know, that's fine. I'm starting to wonder if it was even an intentional murder at this point. Did you know that someone was killed in the cabin next door to this one last night? One of the crewmen told me this morning when I was eating breakfast. The man who died, he was a friend of mine. Oh, that's why we're trying to find out what happened. Did you notice anything unusual last night? Perhaps you heard a strange noise, for example. Perhaps people talking. Perhaps the ship was absorbed in a wild tempest. Perhaps the steam engine exploded. Perhaps everyone on board would have noticed if that had happened. Miss Pavlova, is there anything you can tell us? I don't know. I'm sorry, but all I could think about last night was what I had done and whether they would find me. I didn't notice anything that was happening around me. Oh, I see. You've run away from your ballet company, haven't you? The Novovich Ballet? Yes. I am traveling to Great Britain, and from there I want to go to America. I will never dance again. I want to forget everything about the ballet. I will start a new life. You wish to forget? A challenging proposition. When you have that striking tiara as a reminder. But the tiara is mine. I need it to live. I have no money of my own. The Novovich Ballet gives us only a little food and water, and we must dance all over the world. I had to run away. I had no choice. If I stayed, it would have killed me. So you ran away to protect yourself? Yes. And the crew of this ship, they have all been kind to me. They let me come on board, and they said I could hide in this cabin. If that is indeed the truth, Miss Pavlova, it creates a most intriguing conundrum. Yes, it does. What do you think about it, Mr. Naruhodo? Me? Oh, well, yes, of course. I think we should hear Miss Pavlova's explanation. To what conundrum, I'm not sure, but... Miss Pavlova, allow me to pose you a riddle. According to this newspaper, it was only yesterday that you absconded from the ballet. Now, that being the case, it must have been last night that you boarded this vessel. However, the SS Buria stopped by no port last night. Ah, that's it, of course. So how is it, pray, that you've come to be on board? Now that I think about it, the crewman outside the cabin acted very strangely when we mentioned that. Oh, yeah. It was just after we asked him about when the occupant of this cabin came aboard. That is not your business. Yes, you're right. He did seem to be hiding something. An angel descended from the heavens, bringing grace and beauty to the stage. Sorry, what was that? It is how the Russian newspapers described one of my performances. And that is how I came here too. I descended from the heavens, because I am an angel. Seems convincing. I buy it. Considering English isn't your mother tongue, your description is very vivid. Mr. Sholmes once said, I never can resist a touch of dramatic. It seems Miss Pavlova is the same. A genius descended from the heavens, bringing grace and beauty to detection. Words once said about myself. A quote from a wonderfully extravagant advertisement for the adventures of Sherlock Holmes, in fact. Yes, Mr. Showy. Anyway, it doesn't look like Miss Pavlova is going to tell us what really happened. Excuse me, Mr. Roylott. Yes, what? Wow, she is fast. Captain would like to speak with you. You must come to Captain's quarters at once. Please. Alright, I will come now. What? You must leave now. Oh, no, it's fine. Don't mind us. Yes, please don't worry yourself, Mr. Roylott. Get out! The passenger said out, or do you want me to throw you out? Ugh, it looks like we'll have to leave investigating this cabin until later. What a pity. And so we lost our chance. Having still not managed to investigate Miss Pavlova's cabin, we were unceremoniously chased out. That is to say, we were quite literally picked up and thrown into the passageway outside. Oh, what a joke. Damn, that part alone was 2 hours. Damn, we're going to be here a while.